Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we have some very interesting news regarding the United States Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Guys, we've been hearing a lot of news out of the Comptroller of the Currency lately. I'm going to find an excuse to say that as many times as possible in this video, I promise. Because the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, as you may have never heard of before, has now clarified that when they made a ruling that banks are able to hold cryptocurrency, they did mean stablecoins with that. This opens up even more of the financial infrastructure that we have in this country towards cryptocurrency and blockchain-based projects. But guys, that's not the only thing we want to talk about in today's video. Of course, we have a lot of analysis to get to in today's video. As you guys can see, over the last couple of days, Bitcoin has been trading sideways and has entered a bear flag just below $10,500. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down all of the different technical indicators on the chart right now and coming to a conclusion about where Bitcoin may be heading over the next few days. Guys, I think something pretty big is about to happen in the next 24 to 72 hours or so on Bitcoin. So if you're interested in learning more, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 75K subs by the end of the year. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Oh, and by the way, there was an ad that 300 million people saw about Bitcoin. We'll get to that in a minute. First, I want to jump onto the chart and get you guys caught up to speed on what's going on here on Bitcoin. Over the last couple of days, Bitcoin has, of course, been pulling back, and we have now moved into what looks like a little bear flag on the daily chart. If we zoom into the hourly chart, we can see that that's essentially exactly what we're looking at, with rising lows and rising highs. As you guys will know from the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, bear flags normally show up in the dead smack middle of a trend, meaning that if we've moved back 5% now, when we break to the downside, we should be expecting Bitcoin to break out another 5% to the downside, which puts us down around $10,000 at the bottom of our zone of support. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, normally I would wait until the end of the video to make the prediction, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, tentatively speaking, I think in the next few days, we very well may be seeing a pullback to $10,000. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why that might not happen later. As always, I don't want you to just take my prediction, run with it, and make a trade. I want you to use your own noggin in your trades. Because every time I make a wrong call, and by the way, it does happen whenever I make a wrong call, there's always one person in the comment sections that says, you, Jeb, I see you cost me a bunch of money. And they're never talking about themselves. They're never saying, I cost myself a bunch of money. They're saying that I, Jeb, not them, commenter, cost themselves a bunch of money because they were trading purely based off of what I said. Anyway, side tangent, but please, guys, don't trade based off of what someone else says. Use my analysis, and then go make your own conclusions. Anyway, with that being said, jumping out to the daily chart, I will go ahead and show you why I think we may be about to pull back like that. Number one, first and foremost, and this is the obvious one, Bitcoin has no volume right now. And with no volume, you're very unlikely to see an increase in price action on Bitcoin. It's pretty simple. Number two, the MACD on Bitcoin, which looked so bullish for a little while, is now converging bearish on itself again. It's flattening out as Bitcoin is slowly trending sideways, but it looks like we're going to have a bearish cross on MACD here in the next couple of days. And of course, guys, you don't want to ignore Stochh RSI. It is jumping off a cliff right now, and that normally does indicate a pullback. And then we have to have a reminder of the fact that Bitcoin has been pulling back on Google Trends for the last 2 months. The situation we were in a couple days ago of Bitcoin trying to break above $10,500 was essentially, we're bearish, but let's see if we can reverse it. Now, Bitcoin is pretty much saying, we're bearish, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. So based on everything that I'm seeing, and also the fact that we rallied above the 20 EMA and we've now pulled back below it, it seems to me like Bitcoin's about to pull back down to $10,000. I would love to hear your take in the comment section down below on where you think Bitcoin is going. Anyway, we have 2 news articles to jump into today. I'm going to be brief on the first one, but it is pretty interesting. Bitcoin-related ads are now streaming on Disney Plus in some regions, thanks, shout out to ZebPay. This, as far as I can tell, is an Indian company, and that would probably be why here in their like most important copywriting on their entire company, it calls it a cryptocurrency change and not an exchange. I don't know anything about ZebPay. I'm sure they're good people, but might want to get someone to fix that. But nevertheless, they just did something pretty big for the adoption of Bitcoin. Crypto exchange ZebPay launched a campaign with ads featuring Bitcoin during the Indian Premier League cricket games. I'm not from India, but I hear those are very widely watched. The ad represented a historic moment for crypto in India. More than 462 million people watched the Indian Premier League games in 2019, with roughly 300 million tuning in using the Hotstar platform. which is exactly where this ad right here was run. Kudos to you guys. Good job, because one of the things that I think we're going to see in mass adoption is over the course of the years, we're going to see 2 phases of mass adoption, maybe even 3, depending on how you want to break them up. Number 1 is simply awareness. Just how many people have seen that little logo called Bitcoin. In marketing terms, that would be called how many impressions do we have for our ad, or in this case, our logo. That's phase 1 of adoption. How many people are aware that Bitcoin even exists? Then we have phase 2, where we ask how many people are even somewhat competent in their understanding of Bitcoin. How many of them maybe have $5 or $10 invested in Bitcoin? How many people are thinking about trading? And how many people are on the fence and are about to move on forward because they were converted from those impressions into those people interested in Bitcoin? And then you can either call 2 and 3 the same thing. I'm going to break them up. You can call the third phase of mass adoption the people that are actually using the currency, like us. People don't realize this. Bitcoin is not really very far into that third camp of people using Bitcoin. There's a few million people around the world that use it and trade it on the reg. But in general, the vast majority of people are still in camp 0, where they've never even heard of it, or they're in camp 1, where they've only seen the logo once or twice. The more people we can get to see the logo, the more people will start having conversations about Bitcoin, and someone will go, oh yeah, I've heard about that Bitcoin thing. Tell me, what's that about? And as those conversations continue to happen, phase 2 of mass adoption will continue. If you guys would like a more detailed and in-depth video on mass adoption, I would love to make one, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Needless to say, this is a very, very good thing for awareness of Bitcoin in India, which is likely going to become one of the biggest markets for Bitcoin on the entire planet. What the freak is this article doing over here? Why? What? You guys, your website sucks booty. And now for our last news story of the day. U.S. banks can hold reserves for stablecoins, not just crypto, says the United States Treasury Office. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has given the green light for national banks and federal savings associations to hold reserves for stablecoin issuers. This is simply a clarification of a previous announcement the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency made about Bitcoin being able to be stored in banks. Following that, of course, we've seen something called the Kraken Bank being founded in Wyoming. If you guys want to look into that, we did a video on that a little while ago. We'll have it linked up there. But guys, this is pretty significant. Look, any adoption news that we have on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is significant at the state of adoption that we are in right now. We got to take what we can get, especially in slow times such as these. This is pretty important news, guys. And it also means that not only is Bitcoin and a few other cryptocurrencies going to be allowed to be stored in banks, pretty much everything, but the way I'm reading it, is going to be allowed to be stored in reserves in banks and things like savings accounts and whatnot. Every single step we take is one step further towards adoption, and I think you guys understand that. I'm not going to get too much into this news because, quite frankly, the actual real importance of it stops there. The fact that it's one more step for adoption. Guys, I'm pretty excited about where Bitcoin is heading over the next 5-10 years. I'd love to hear what you think about that in the comment section down below. Guys, I've been in crypto for almost 3.5 years now, and comparing today to what it was like when I got into the space, completely different ball game. Things have changed so much for the bullish, and a lot of people that have only been here for 6-12 months don't see that incremental ice age speed growth. But it is happening, and in a pretty significant way. So have trust, have confidence, have faith in the process that we're going to get to where we want to go, and I think you'll be very happy you did. I know my hair is doing all kinds of craziness. I'm about to schedule a haircut for Friday. Don't worry about it. Anyway, guys, the set is pretty much done. Yeah, I don't want to guarantee anything because I put a deadline before, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow's video or the next day's video may be up in the new studio. More on that tomorrow. But anyway, guys, for now, though, that is going to have to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I, of course, just do first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.